you, Paul O'Neill. I made him basically what he is, he and that Sabo dude. When I first met them, they were unemployed, out of work lumberjacks. Now I got them on top of the world. And we have full lines, believe it or not, but if line becomes available, 749-7000. But I got a comment about today's Fountain Square proceedings. Segment, you were there. We saw a lot of scrambled eggs on the top of a lot of Cincinnati cop hats today, especially Larry Whalen and the Howard Nichols, people of that ilk. And there was a major stir when it was suspected that someone had stolen the World Series trophy.
Sort of like the Stanley Cup, Willie, was stolen a couple of 100 years ago or so. But they couldn't find it.
There was a period of time when the World Series trophy was missing.
I tell you what, Willie, I've never seen so much brass move at one time.
And then Howard Nichols had the classic comment.
He said, well, if it's stolen, we know where it is. It's at a bar in Montgomery.
And it would show up and I would say, I don't know how it got here, Howard.
I don't know.
But if you want to come and pay homage, come out to the joint.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could make that into a shrine, Willie.
Segman, your comments on my inspirational talk to the assembled multitude. A lot of the Reds have told me that basically it was the highlight of their day.
Well, no doubt about it, Willie. I mean, it was heard on the big one, and it was a speech that rivaled the Gettysburg Address. It rivaled Yalta. It rivaled JFK's inauguration speech from a few years ago.
Well, what about Jose Rio's comments that basically he played the World Series in fear that his wife would spend some time with Andy Furman out there on the West Coast?
Well, I don't know about that, Willie, but
he kept an eye on her the entire time they were in that series because he knew Furman was in the same city.
He was lurking within that stadium. But I tell you what, Willie, another classic line from I don't know if I guess we'll just call him the mayor. Because I guess we just have to give him equal. We have to give equal time.
We'll say Ken Blackwell's name too. That'll make it okay.
Okay, and then the mayor Charlie Lucan was
the best mayor money can buy.
Well, I was standing next to him, Willie, and damn proud of it. And I asked him about the first family. I asked him about the White House, otherwise known as Cincinnati's mansion.
This was during my inspirational talk.
Yeah, and he looked over at me and he says, "Do you think that's how Hitler got started?" And I said, I don't know, Mayor, but I said if he doesn't get off of there pretty soon, they're all going to be singing De Fuhrer or something here because, Willie, you had them stirred up. 12,000 people. I even saw some of the people at the Westin.
Yes.
Were like absolutely going berserk and yelling, Willie, Willie,
I've always
Willie.
wanted to lead desperate troops in a hopeless struggle, and I felt in front of that the energy of 50,000 screaming maniacs, and I felt their power. And the pledge, Segman, that I had the people of Cincinnati take on Thursday night. Let's talk about the pledge. The no-sex pledge until the Reds clinch the World Series, whether it's 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 20 years, irrelevant. Your comments.
Well, it certainly, I guess that was the key phrase, Willie, that swept the Reds over the A's. And I tell you what, Willie, it looked like to me like Colin Powell up there addressing the troops. I
felt good. We ought to send, I'm sick and tired of people sending mailgrams to Eric Davis. Let's give out the number for Western Union. Huh?
I don't know if you can do that, Willie. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Well, you know me. The new fall season basically starts for me tonight.
That's right, Willie. Number. I mean, that's right.
I got the number. Would you stick around when I make the call segment? And just hold. We got to send it.
What are we gonna? You're gonna send a telegram to Eric E-Man, the E-Man.
Yes, because why send letters when you can send a Western Union telegram?
Send one in Sudden Sam's name.
Sam, do you have the address of where he is? I know it's Merritt Hospital, but you can give it to me, even as I speak.
It's on Hawthorne Street, Willie, I think. Something like that.
If you have a touch-tone telephone,
yeah?
Please press 1
Come in.
now.
Okay.
Boo. Come on.
How about that?
Please hold.
I'm holding. Come on.
Transfer to the next available
segment. Stick around. If you stay here, I'll put your name on the telegram. Is that fair? Is that fair?
I guess so, Willie. It's your show.
The phone number of Western Union is 1-800.
Operator 403, may I help you?
Is this operator 403?
Yes, sir.
This is Bill Cunningham. You're live on 700 WLW radio, and I want to send a telegram to number 44 of the Cincinnati Reds, Eric Davis, who is lying ill, injured, and hurt in a hospital in Oakland, California. You no doubt saw the World Series Game 4. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, excuse me?
Did you see World Series Game 4?
No, I sure didn't.
You didn't see it at all?
No.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Take a telegram. Are you ready?
No. Hold on.
Oh.
I'm not trained to do that. I'll have to transfer you. Is that okay?
Yeah, I want to send a telegram. You're not trained to take a telegram?
No.
How about...
I take money.
You take money?
Yeah, I'm good at taking money.
For what?
For people.
Maybe you got the IRS here, Willie.
Yeah. I want to send a telegram to Eric Davis in Oakland, California.
All right, hold on. Just a minute. I'm going to find someone who can do this for you.
All right.
Hold on.
I'd have gotten a hold of Donald Trump Incorporated.
Or might have been the Mustang Ranch out in Reno. That was operator 403. I'm sure there's a better one than that. But Sig, we had to get our thoughts together. A lot of the Reds I know are anxious to send a telegram. The number is 1-800-325-6000 if you want to send a telegram to Eric Davis. The address is Merritt Hospital, M-E-R-I-T-T, Merritt Hospital, 350 Hawthorne Avenue. Just like in the old days, Hawthorne, that was some famous author, I think, back in the 1830s. Correct. And Oakland, California, 94609. And Tom Harank will be selling this time at $120 a minute. Sag, your thoughts on being up there in the presence of some of the greatest warriors any battle has ever seen?
It was a great day, Willie. I was very proud to be up there among the team and the best team physician probably in baseball today. The only one who was... hello.
Yes, sir. What is your number?
Operator 544.
544. This is Bill Cunningham. We're on 700 WLW radio in Cincinnati. I want to send a telegram to Eric Davis. This is the Reds flagship station. We want to wish him a speedy recovery. You probably saw Game 4 of the World Series. Is that correct?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see it. But Eric Davis was hurt. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Fine. Well, do you know who won the World Series?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
What's the play tonight?
Yeah, well, it was finished up on Saturday. Where do you live normally? Out west somewhere?
Yeah, this is Reno, Nevada.
Reno? Is that the home of the Mustang Ranch with the IRS shutdown deal?
Right.
Well, have you ever been to the Mustang Ranch?
No.
Okay. Well, let me send this telegram. Are you ready?
Okay. What is the phone number you're calling from? Area code first.
513 241 9597.
What city and state are you calling from?
Cincinnati, the Queen City of the West, Ohio. The home of Bob Hope.
All right. And what name's he going to?
Eric, E-R-I-C, Davis.
All right. And the address?
Merritt Hospital, M-E-R-R-I-T-T, Merritt Hospital. 350 Hawthorne Avenue. Oakland, California. 94609. 94609. Have you ever heard of Lou Piniella?
Yes.
What does he do for a living, if anything?
He plays baseball.
That's not bad. How about Tom Browning?
I haven't heard of him.
Chris Sabo.
No.
Sagman Dennison.
No.
All right. What do you need from me now?
Okay. Do you want this to go by telephone or by messenger?
Let's do it by messenger. Hand delivered. Yeah, hand delivered.
And the message.
All right. Dear Eric.
Yes.
Both you and Canseco, C-A-N-S-E-C-O, are hurt. Stop. But in 7 days, you will feel better.
Yes.
But Canseco will still be hurt and still be a loser. Period. You are a world champion. Period. you displayed on the field of honor.
You displayed.
On the field of honor.
Yes.
Uniquely. 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 American values.
Yes.
Of hard work.
Yes.
Perseverance.
Yes.
Diligence.
Yes.
Guts.
Yes.
Guile. GUILE. Guile.
Yes.
Fear of God.
Yes.
And love of country.
Yes.
Period. You are a hero to millions unknown to you. And to the few of us that know you so well.
Yes.
Period. You have taken your place. Shoulder to shoulder, comma, eyeball to eyeball, with Babe Ruth, comma, Joe DiMaggio,
How is that name spelled?
capital D-I, capital M-A-G-G-I-O. Ever hear of the Yankee Clipper Joe DiMaggio? Okay. Comma. Frank Robinson. Joe Nuxall. You ever hear of Joe Nuxall? All right. Nuxall is spelled N-U-X-H-A-L-L. And the Truckin' Bozo.
And what?
Truckin', T-R-U-C-K-I-N, Bozo, B-O-Z-O, period.
Yes.
And I'm wrapping it up now. Godspeed and good health. Now put period. Now put nah, baby, nah. Capital N-A, capital B-A-B-Y, capital N-A, nah, baby, nah. Signed, Bill Cunningham, comma. Seg, S-E-G, Dennison, D-E-N-N-I-S-O-N, comma. And the gangster of love, Sam Jones. Oh. Now can you read that back to me, operator 544?
Okay. It's going to Eric Davis at Merritt Hospital, address 350 Hawthorne Avenue, Oakland, California, 94609. Message: Dear Eric, both you and Kenseiko are hurt, period. But in 7 days you will feel better, but Kenseiko will still be hurt and still be a loser, period. You are a world champion, period. You displayed on the field of honor uniquely American values of hard work, perseverance, diligence, guts, guile, fear of God, and love of country, period. You are a hero to millions unknown to you, and to the few of us that know you so well, period. You have taken your place shoulder to shoulder, comma, eyeball to eyeball, with Babe Ruth, comma, Joe DiMaggio, comma, Frank Robinson, comma, Joe Nuxall, and the Truckin' Bozo, period. Godspeed and good health, period. Nah, baby, nah. Signed, Bill Cunningham, comma, sake, is it S is in Sam, E is in Edward, G is in George.
That's it.
Denison, comma, and the gangster of love, Sam Jones.
Now, at the end, they put of 700 WLW, because he knows who I am, but he may not know who these other two schleps are. Of 700. The number 700 WLW. How do you like that?
Okay. 700 WLW.
Yes. Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, anything else you need from me, operator 544.
Okay. We can send you a copy and proof of delivery at extra charges and bill them to your phone.
That is fine with me because, you know, I'm a very wealthy individual and I want to get it there as soon as possible.
All right. And you're going to bill this to your phone?
Yes.
513-241-9597.
Correct.
And what name is that phone under?
700 WLW.
And your first initial and last name?
Bill Cunningham. B as in Bill.
Address?
1111. 1111. In other words, St. Gregory Street,
Cincinnati.
Ohio. 45202. How'd you like the message, by the way? Was it pretty good?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
That's everything we need.
You did a fine job, Operator 544, and you're a representative of the kind of hard-working American we need at Western Union.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. How about that? I think that'll cheer up Eric. And if you want to send a Western Union telegram, 1-800-325-6000. Let's go right to the telephone calls. Jeff, Lee, Kim, Mr. Mom, Vince, and Mike. The line becomes available. 749-7000. Bill Cunningham. The new fall season has now officially started. 700 WLW.
Folgers switch number 624. From an actual letter.
Dear Folgers, I did the Folgers switch on a group of doctors. Instead of the ground coffee we usually drink, I thought I'd have some fun. So I made Folgers Crystals. They all thought it was fresh brewed.
Wow, it's good coffee, though.
Excellent. That's when I said, thanks, it's Folgers Crystals.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Dark, rich, mountain-grown Folgers Crystals. People who are secretly switched think it's fresh brewed.
Thanks for helping me put one over on the good doctors. Yours truly, Mildred Davidson, RN.
Now there's a magical reading course on cassettes called Hooked on Phonics, which makes learning to read simple. Simple because Hooked on Phonics is set to music. This way kids learn phonics quickly, like a song. And when they master phonics, they can read and spell almost everything. So if you want your preschooler to become an excellent reader, or if there's an older student who needs reading help, call 1-800-ABCDEFG. That's 1-800-ABCDEFG.
Exciting NBA basketball action returns to Riverfront Coliseum on Thursday, October 25th, when the Cleveland Cavaliers meet the Washington Bullets. Danny Ferry, Hot Rod Williams, and Mark Price will lead the Cavaliers in head-to-head competition against the Bullets and their newly acquired Purvis Ellison. The Bullets say they have scores to settle this season, and the Cavaliers vow to make it past the first round of the playoffs. Good seats are still available and may be purchased at the Coliseum drive-up window and all Ticketron outlets. To charge by phone, call 621-1110 or toll-free 1-800-225-7337. The rafters will be shaking at Riverfront Coliseum on October 25th when the NBA returns to Cincinnati for one night only. Don't miss the excitement of NBA basketball.
The first step in introducing any new car is to properly label it, which explains our dilemma. Granted, with a 20-valve turbocharged engine that goes from 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, this definitely sounds like a sports car. But once you get past the Bosch Motronic engine management system, you'll notice 4 doors, ideal for letting the entire family come along for the ride. Add of Brano wood inlays, heated leather seats, and a Bose music system. And you have the makings of a luxury sedan. Include an all-wheel drive system, and what you have is a car perfectly comfortable in the most demanding road conditions imaginable. So if you're looking for a luxury all-wheel drive sports car for the entire family, discover the new 200 Quattro from Audi. Only 1,600 of these machines will be available this year. Look for one very, very quickly.
Your station for morning information, 700 WLW.
All right, Sam, let's hear from the common men and women that I've so ably represented over the years to get your reactions on the events of the day, baseball, etc. Australia, we got a call. We're going to call Australia. Let me take a couple of calls, but I don't know how to dial that number. Just dial it straight out, do you think? Oh, good. I want to thank Jim Yockey, Y-O-C-K-E-Y, of Sylvania South High School Athletic Director. Of course, Sylvania is near Toledo, Mommy, in northwestern Ohio. Jim Yockey, for being a loyal listener of mine. Jeff, 700 WLW.
Hey, Willie, how you doing tonight?
Well, Jeff, everything's great and getting better. I tell you what, it was rainy and damp, but nothing was more cheerful than the hearts of the Reds fans today, wherever they may be located.
I heard that. Listen, I was reading Scott Offler of the National Sports Daily today, and he said somebody should tell the A's that they're very lucky the series ended when it did. The last 22 A's were retired in order, and he wished he could have sent Sam Kinison to tell them they lost. What's with all the A's bad-mouthing the Reds?
Especially your good friend Dave Stewart, Ricky Henderson. Now look at it this way, Jeff. They're playing in basically the most inferior, poorly traveled and talented area of baseball. That is the American League West. 2 years ago, they met a rather decimated L.A. Dodger team from the National League, and the Dodgers won 4 out of 5. Last year, they go against Frisco during the earthquake, and certainly an odd series, and they won. But then this year, they are taken apart by the Reds, much like the Dodgers took them apart in 1988. So the Reds beat the Dodgers, beat the Giants, and then sweep the Oakland A's, which are the other three best teams in baseball the past 2 years. So this Reds club, by any fair measure, is a dynasty.
Do you see a Reds dynasty tonight?
Oh, well, I do, because I am confident that Bob Quinn and Marge Schott are going to sign the boys to the kind of contracts that are necessary to keep them here. Plus, there are a few Reds in the free agency mode. You only have Billy Dorn, Tom Browning, and Danny Jackson. And the rest of these fellas are kind of stuck.
That's true. Well, God bless America. It's great to be in Cincinnati.
I tell you, Jeff, you better get your season tickets early, because we may sell out the entire stadium next year.
Thanks a lot, Willie.
Lee, 700 WLW.
Willie, how you doing tonight?
Trying to help America through difficult times. We may be in war in the Persian Gulf. Recession may be at hand. The stock market may be crashing, but who cares when the Reds win it all, brother?
I'm with you. Will, let me ask you a question. What does talent really mean, having the best talent really mean in the one-loss column?
What you ought to do on that issue, Lee, is talk to the Russian hockey team in 1980. Ask Mike Tyson what talent was worth against Buster Douglas. Talk to Sonny Liston when he fought Cassius Clay in 1964 in Miami about talent. How about talking to the North Carolina State basketball team when they beat Houston, which was of course impossible? How about when Villanova beat the mighty Georgetown Hoyas? How valuable was talent then?
That's why we play the game, isn't it, Will?
Yeah, talent is played. Talent means nothing in our society. How many talented people you have known that have been dismal failures?
Millions.
How many educated boobs out there that have basically know all book knowledge but can't function in the real world?
Can't express themselves.
How many absent-minded geniuses are there running around this world?
Millions.
There's only one enduring, permanent human trait that will solve the world's problems and bring the Reds a world championship, and that is hard work. A never say die, never quit attitude. Be like a pit bull hanging from a rope with his teeth clenched firmly around the fibers, Lee. And when I look into the eyes of Sabo and Rio and O'Neill and Oliver and Larkin and Duncan and Morris, I see a pit bull's look. I don't see the quiche eaters and the caviar eaters and the champagne sippers and the limousine driving Oakland A's. I see guys like Sabo that drove around in a Ford Pinto for 4 or 5 years and only now recently leased some sort of a Bronco of some kind.
Right.
That's a guy that gets down in the dirt and grovels and is tough. And I would rather have 10 Chris Sabos than 10 Jose Canseco's.
I'm with you. Well, let me tell you something about our fans here in Cincinnati. I was at the fountain both nights that we clinched after Game 6 Pittsburgh, and we went down there Saturday night, my whole family, till 3 o'clock. And you talk about a great group of fans celebrating in the right way, hugging, dancing, high-fiving. Nobody hurt, nobody shot. What do you think about that?
Well, the last time the Pistons clinched, 7 people died. The 2 years ago, they set aflame an entire city block. There are many reports when the New York Mets won it. You remember the fans storming the field and tearing up all the grass?
Yes, sir.
And so what we're dealing here is not only a class team, but a class group of fans.
No doubt about it. Will, my last quick comment for you. If Sports Illustrated, I've subscribed to that thing for 15 years, and I'm kind of upset because of what they did to Bobby Knight a few years ago and what Kerry Kirkpatrick said to him. But if the Sports Illustrated doesn't put the Reds on the cover this week, I'm canceling it from here on in and telling all my friends to do the same.
Lee, get your letter ready because Dave Stewart is on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
I don't understand that.
Dave Stewart, last week it was Eckersley, and the entire report was, how can the Reds ever beat these guys?
I saw that.
And now this week's article is about Dave Stewart and how the A's blew it and how the A's were beaten.
That's a travesty.
No, all I can say is...
Avery are 25 years old, Juan Marichal's son-in-law, great guy, beautiful wife, not be on the cover is a travesty.
Lee, it's again the Eastern media selling magazines on the two coasts, forgetting about us rubes here in Cincinnati.
I know it. Willie, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Kim, 700 WLW, then Melissa.
Hi.
Hello, Kim.
I was calling about to find out what everyone thinks about why Steve Stott was not announced tonight.
Steve Stott?
Yeah.
You would have to address that question to one Marty Brenneman and Joe Nuxhall, who I think are the two finest broadcasters in baseball. But I was there, and in fact, I had forgotten about it myself because, you know...
He was right next to Lou Piniella and Bob Quinn.
To my way of thinking, Steve Stott has played an integral part in the success of this club.
I think so, too. I think he's always behind the team. I've met him a few times.
He's a very fine American.
Yeah.
Kim, he belongs there, and I guess your comment should be addressed to those who had the microphone other than myself.
Oh, well, I just wanted to...
Where are you calling from, Kim?
I'm calling from Loveland.
The home of the Fighting Tigers. Well, thanks for calling.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Melissa, 700 WLW, then John in Texas.
Hi, how you doing?
Melissa, give me a full report.
I just liked your telegram. That was great. Ought to cheer him up.
Yep, Eric is, you know, when that happened, I spoke to Dr. Michael Lahana. I may call him at home here in a minute. And it didn't look that serious. It looked like he had the wind knocked out of him. But when you put it in slow-mo replay, what happened is that his right elbow pierced his ribs in his kidney area, and that caused the laceration. It was really a very serious injury, and he's lost a lot of blood. It didn't look serious, but it turned out to be very serious.
Yeah. Well, I sent him a card today.
Send him a telegram, too.
Okay. I was calling to address a gentleman that called you last week. I don't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday night. And he called in. He was upset because he was in the left field stands, and he was cheering Eric when he hit the home run. And he didn't understand why he wasn't acknowledged. You know, the fans weren't acknowledged. I don't think Eric had any obligation to acknowledge those people that probably were booing him all year.
Melissa, it's amazing to me how everyone now is an Eric Davis supporter. But for month after month after month, Collinsworth and I basically defended the character of the man against the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune as put into him by the Reds baseball fans. The last 2 months of the season, I must have been down to Riverfront 20 times, and I can't tell you how many times Eric Davis was mercilessly booed by people that now say he's the greatest guy in the world.
Right. I've always loved him, always been a fan of his.
Well, Melissa, the Eric Davis of October was the same Eric Davis of June.
Correct.
I had a conversation with him in June at which he told me that he would not acknowledge their fans. He said in August and September they're going to want curtain calls,
right,
and I'm not going to give it to him.
I applaud him for that.
I said, hey, go ahead, because it's your way of paying back, but... I always like to build bridges in my life, Melissa, not walls, and when someone slaps you, it's better to turn the other cheek.
Correct.
I
applaud him wholeheartedly for that.
I'll check with you later. John in Texas, then Mr. Mom, 700 WLW.
This is your lone Texas fan. Willie, how you doing tonight?
John, T is for Texas and T is for Tennessee.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know, don't you want to just... Well, first of all, I love the victory the Reds had. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. I was in normal Texans did, I must admit. But one guy that you got to feel for and you got to be more proud of than anybody is Mr. Ron Oster, who stuck to this team through thick and thin. You got to admit, Ron Oster did a lot of things for this team for a long period of time.
The unspoken hero. I had a conversation today on the podium with Todd Benzinger, who had wrongfully written in a column. He's guest hosting for the Post that I had criticized Ron Oster, and he said, I'm sorry, I had the name wrong. It was Andy Furman and not you, Bill, and I shouldn't have put your name in there. And I said, hey, mistakes happen. I've made mistakes. Let bygones be bygones. I've been a Todd Benzinger fan, but especially a Ron Oster fan, because to me it's an amazing thing for a man to go through what he went through at second base with Mookie Wilson.
I was there that game. I couldn't believe it.
Carried off the field, and then due to the hard work of Ron Oster and the help of Peter Zulia and Dr. Michael Lahan at Wellington Sports Medicine, to come back and then to get a key hit in the World Series and also a key hit in the LCS and made it all happen, made me feel like hard work is worth something.
Got to admit, this team played very well all year long, and the thing is that you were exactly right in stating earlier, there was no single one superstar. They played well as a team all year long. There's no MVPs on the team, and, hey, they just did a super job. The bullpen was incredible. And I just could not be more pleased. In fact, I was in a hotel in San Antonio when Eric Davis hit the home run in the World Series, and I was getting a pizza, and I started screaming and banging the walls, and the hotel manager said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm the biggest Reds fan in the world. You have to excuse me. And he said, son, I was born in Cincinnati. I'm watching the game, too. Keep on banging on the walls.
John, two thoughts. Number one, the Eric Davis home run on the first pitch thrown to him was the shot heard round the world. It was a slap in the face of Dave Stewart. He said, welcome to Cincinnati. Number two, if you take one arrow and put it in between your two fish, you can easily break it. But when you take 25 arrows in a bundle and grab those 25 and try to break those arrows, brother, you can't do it. And my boys were like 25 arrows together and not individual arrows, which I think essentially what the Oakland A's were.
Yep.
Canseco was snapped. McGuire was snapped. Both Hendersons were snapped. Eckersley, Moore, Stewart, and Welch were all snapped.
Hey, there's no question about it, Bill. One thing I must admit, the Reds pitching staff pitched each and every one of those big hitters exactly the way they were scouted. And I got to admit this, anybody throwing Eric Davis a low and inside fastball deserves